All right, this week for math, we're going to be talking about polygons. So we are going to start it off by watching a quick brain pop video.
Hey, stop that. Dear Tim and Moby, what's a polygon? From Kai. Well, these are polygons. For a shape to be a polygon, it has to meet some specific criteria. A polygon is a closed figure made by 3 or more line segments, or sides as we call them. Each line segment in a polygon intersects exactly 2 others. These segments only intersect in vertices where 2 endpoints meet. Now these aren't polygons. Well, the first one isn't a closed figure, and the second one isn't made of line segments. See, it's got that curve there. The last one breaks the rule about each line segment intersecting exactly 2 others. Make sense? We classify polygons by the number of sides they have. This is a trigon, also known as a triangle. A tetragon is another name for a quadrilateral, a 4-sided polygon. This is a pentagon with 5 sides. A hexagon has 6 sides. Heptagons have 7. An octagon has 8 sides. And an aegon is a polygon with 9 sides. This is a decagon, a 10-sided polygon. Polygons with more than 10 sides have names too, but for simplicity's sake, you'll often hear them referred to by their number, like a 15-gon or a 23-gon. Anyway, all these polygons you see here are what we call regular polygons. Regular polygons are equilateral and equiangular, meaning their sides and angles are congruent. Their sides are the same lengths, and their angles are equal too. Polygons like these are irregular. Their sides are not congruent, and the angles are not equal. Well, that's enough about polygons for now, unless you have something to add, Moby. What are you talking about?
Okay, so I just want to go over and review what you guys are going to be doing this week for your math activities. We just watched a brain pop video which described to us what a polygon is. We know that there's different types of polygons, and depending on how many sides the polygons the names are gonna change. Like we already know our triangle has 3 sides, square has 4, pentagon has 5, hexagon has 6, heptagon has 7, octagon has 8, and on and on and on. So I want you guys to come back and use this tips and hints page because it's going to end up helping you with the assignments that you have for the week. So if we look at this first, one of the first assignments that you guys are going to have to do, what you're going to have to do is write the letter P in the shapes that are polygons. So I have little boxes. Some of the boxes couldn't fit inside the shape, so I put them to the side, but you're just going to write it in the one that's closest to it. Remember, a polygon is going to close. So if you see some open ones that are looking like this and your 2 sides aren't closed, then that's not a polygon. Remember, there's going to be no round sides either for a polygon. So if you have to go back and watch that brain pop video to kind of help you remember, I suggest you do that, okay? And then if you look down here at the bottom, it's the exact same thing. You're going to look at each shape. So right here, you guys can see this is one shape. It looks like there's a little round, and then it has 2 straight lines right here. So that's one shape. So in that, I can put an N, and I'm going to put an N because we know that that's not a polygon. Do we know why it's not a polygon? Remember, it has to have straight lines, and this has a curve in it, so that's not a polygon. Do you see one that is a polygon here? I see one right here, and that is a polygon. So I don't have to write anything, or I can write P. And that's just how you're going to do it for both ones, for A and B. Just make sure that you're looking. Now you'll notice that I didn't put a box in every one because that was just going to be too many boxes and they were going to have to be tiny and weird. So just only worry about the shapes that I actually have it in. Then when you go to this one, you're just going to be counting the number of the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would put a 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I would put a 6 right here. Now, it also wants to know the polygon type. That means the polygon name. So if you can't remember what the name of a 5-sided polygon is, you come back to your tips and hints. You find the number 5. Oh, that's a pentagon. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the sheet and I'm going to write pentagon. Now, if going back and forth is too much for you, then you could just get a sheet of paper and kind of just copy this sheet down real quick, so that way it'll help you out. I would just copy the name and then the sides, not writing the shapes. Or you can draw the shapes, whatever's easiest for you. And you do that for each one. Okay, so this one was 6. So now I need to go back to my paper and I need to say, okay, so 6, the name is a hexagon. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to write hexagon. Now, there should be no reason why. I know some of these are big words or words that maybe you've never heard before, but there should be no reason why you don't spell it correctly because, like I said, you can just copy it from your tips and hints. So that's for your Monday. Tuesday is going to be something kind of similar. This is our tips and hints for Tuesday. So for Tuesday, we're talking about quadrilaterals. And a quadrilateral is a polygon that has 4 sides and 4 angles. When you think of quad, just think of 4. So your square, your rectangles, your parallelograms, your rhombus, your trapezoids. They have 4 sides and they have 4 angles. And remember, your angles are the things that connect your 2 sides together. So that's an angle, that's an angle, that's an angle, that's an angle. So when you come to your work for this week, there's nothing to do at the top, but it says, look at these shapes. What is the same about them and what is different? Well, let's look at these shapes. What's the same about them? Count the sides and tell me how many sides are there. You shouldn't have even had to count because we said we were talking about quadrilaterals, and remember, quadrilaterals are always going to have 4 sides. So what is the same about them is that they all have 4 sides. What's different about them though? Even though they all have 4 sides, they're all shaped differently. This one's looking like a little triangle. This one looks like a square. This one looks like something different. So they all look different, but they all have the same amount of sides. So I want to know which of these shapes are polygons and how do we know? So which ones are polygons? Now remember, polygons can't have curves. They have to have straight lines. So all of these are polygons except for the ones that have that curve, okay? How do we know? Because we know, Brain Pop told us that polygons aren't going to have that curve. Polygons have exactly 4 sides, and they are called quadrilaterals. The quad part of the word quadrilateral means 4. The lateral part means sides. Write a Q in the box next to the quadrilaterals. So just like your other one, but instead of just writing if it's a polygon or not, you're trying to see if it's a quadrilateral or not. And remember, quadrilaterals have how many sides? 4 sides. So we can look at our work right here and we can say if it has 4 sides, we're going to write a Q. If it does not have 4 sides, if it has 3 sides or less or 5 sides or more, we're not going to write anything. So you only are going to write a Q if it has 4 sides. So for example, this number 1, let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, I could write Q. Right here, I don't really even know how many sides there is because you see there's a round right there. There's another round right there. It looks like maybe there's 1, 2 sides, but we need 4 for a quadrilateral, so that one won't work. And you're just going to do that for each one. Then you go to the next page. It's going to be just like your last one. Like I said, I didn't put a box in each little thing. That would have been too much. But you just have to go through. You look at each shape that you see a box in. So if you don't see a shape in here, you don't worry about it. And you count. Look at the shape. Write an N that has, let's change this to have. Write an N in the shapes that have boxes in them that are not quadrilaterals. So make sure that you guys are reading the instructions before just getting to work, because this one wants you to write an N for the ones that are not, whereas this one wanted you to write a Q for the ones that are. So just make sure that you're reading those. If we look at this one, it's going to be the same tips and hints as your Monday. This one is talking about polygons now. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides. Polygons have 5 sides. So let's read what it says. What do you know about polygons? Polygons are closed 2D shapes that have only straight sides. Each polygon has the same number of sides and its vertices. What are some shapes that you know that are polygons? Okay. These are many other types of polygons. A pentagon is any polygon that has 5 sides. A hexagon has 6 sides. And we can go double check that because right here we say pentagon has 5 sides. Hexagon has 6 sides. So down here, you're going to write a 5 inside of the pentagon and a 6 inside of the hexagons. So you're just going to write, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to write a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoa, we didn't even talk about. Now, if I wanted to know what that was called, that would be a decagon. But we're not talking about decagons here. We're only talking about pentagon, which is 5, and hexagon, which is 6. So if it's not a pentagon or a hexagon, then we don't need to write anything in it at all. Then we move on to this side, and it wants to know how many sides does an octagon have? If you don't remember, you just come back here, you find the word octagon. It has how many sides? 8. So then you come and you just write 8. And you answer that for each question. This one, name 4 type of quadrilaterals. That means think of 4 shapes, and we talked about the quadrilaterals. So you may have to go back to Tuesdays and see the different types of quadrilaterals. You know, you have your square, you have your rectangle. What are some other types of quadrilaterals? Does a polygon usually have more sides or more angles? You need to go back, look at your polygons, and see, do my polygons do they usually have more sides or more angles? Or do they have the same amount of sides and the same amount of angles? So think about that before you answer. You're going to need to go back and you're going to have to count. Remember, sides are the long lines and angles are what's connecting those lines. So all the little corners are your angles. So I would count all my angles, I would count all my sides, and I would see which one has more, which one has less. Is a cube a polygon? Why or why not? Well, we know that polygons have connected sides. I'm going to say that it is a polygon, but if you would like to do your research and say that, see, maybe it may not be. What do you think? This is the same thing. It's just we're just doing quadrilaterals this whole entire week and polygons. Put a Q in the box next to the quadrilaterals. Remember, quad means 4. So you're only if it has more than 4, you're not going to put anything next to it. This up here, you're not going to do anything. It's just kind of your tips and hints. It's just going to help you out with this page. This one wants you to write the name of each polygon in the box. So you just find the shape, write it down. This one looks like this to me, so I would write down here, parallelogram. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 8. Oh, this one kind of looks like that. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. So down here, I would type out octagon. And then for Friday, it's just going to be something real quick and easy. We only have 1 week of school left. So all you're going to do, look around your house. Normally we would be in a classroom, but look around your house and see if you can find things that are shaped like these certain things. So maybe like, for example, for the rectangle, maybe because I know I have a really long remote. So maybe for the rectangle, you could write remote. Maybe for star, I have a little star on my fridge. So maybe you could write like something that's on your fridge. Or your box. Maybe you have your table is the shape of a box. So that is it for this week. You guys know that you can always watch this video as many times as you need to, and if you need any help or have any more questions, you guys know how to contact me. I will see y'all next time.